Not every griot or grioti does all of these things, but these are all examples of the functions that a griot or a grioti professionally embody. So there is the griot section for those who may only think that the griot only serve in the capacity as a storyteller. The griot and grioti serves in so many different functions, and everyone on this panel today function as a griot or grioti in some type of capacity. So there you have it with the griot segment. So now we'll go into the black invention segment, following by my brother Ladarius Denson.
So for today's Black invention section, I want to highlight a poetic engineer and innovator. His name is Lewis H. Latimer. He was a self-taught inventor and engineer whose work helped bring electricity into everyday life. Born on September 4th, 1848 in Chelsea, Massachusetts, to parents who had escaped slavery, Latimer's life was shaped by resilience and determination. After serving in the Union Navy during the Civil War, he began working at a patent law firm where he taught himself drafting, a skill that would change his life. Latimer went on to play a critical role in some of the most transformative inventions of the 19th century. He prepared the technical drawings for Alexander Graham Bell's telephone patent and later became a key figure in the development of electric lighting, working closely with pioneers like Thomas Edison. As an expert in incandescent lighting, he helped improve filament technology and supervised the installation of lighting systems across the US and Canada. An inventor in his own right, Latimer held multiple patents and authored Incandescent Lighting, a practical description of the Edison system. As the only Black member of the Edison pioneers, his legacy stands as a testament to innovation, perseverance, and the often overlooked contributions that help power the modern world. I do have one of his poems. It was published in the New York Age. Going back to last month, we highlighted Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells was became part owner of the New York Age. I think it was T. Thomas Fortune. So he wrote this poem. It was published in September 27th, 1890. Now, during this time period is when, Black men were being falsely accused of raping white women, right? And they was getting lynched. So he wrote this in 1890, and the title of this poem is called "The Ebon Venus." Ebon, I guess Ebon is short for ebony. So I think our women, our sisters, would like this poem. So it goes like this. He says, "Let others boast of maidens fair, of eyes of blue and golden hair. My heart, like a needle ever true, turns to the maid of ebon hue. I love her form of matchless grace, the dark brown beauty of her face, her lips that speak of love's delight, her eyes that gleam as stars at night. Or marble Venus, let them rage, who set the fashions of the age, each to his taste. But as for me, my Venus shall be ebony." So I didn't know. Yeah, so that's Lewis Latimer. I ain't know he had a
spicy.
like.
That's spicy indeed.
Hold on.
All right now.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. We always say per episode, we never know what each other going to do. We have no idea what they're going to say. I had no idea Lewis Latimer was even a poet. I never heard that before in my life.
Yeah, he wrote books, poems, everything, screenplays. He did everything. So, a talented brother.
Shout out to him.
Versatile.
He knew.
Oh, and he came here to tell y'all. Listen, he said to each their own, but okay.
That's for me and mine.
Let it be known. Okay. That was incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ladarius. Like, I'm tapped in now, for real. I feel like that sets the stage.
Yes, indeed. Ladarius always bringing the funk, man.
My dog dropped 30.
Brother. Appreciate
early 30.
Yeah. The young phenom. So now we're gonna get into what we call the discussion segment. Now that we got
Yes, sir.
those segments out the way, we'll get into
Okay.
the discussion segment. So today's show is a celebration of the publication of Tales of a Griot. Um, Everyone on the panel has contributed something to this piece of art. You know what I'm saying? And today we want to celebrate it. We want to share a few things from the book if we can, and discuss, some of the things into the book. How the book came about, and so forth, or whatever questions y'all may have on y'all mind. Right. So let's get into it, Sean. I'll let you orchestrate this part of,
Okay.
in the
So,
direction you
so
want us to go.
yeah, what I want to do is I want to let the poet get a chance to actually read a piece, either from the book or something that they have that's new. I want the artist to see why I asked them to be a part of this project. So, my man, Doc, bottom of the screen, DOC, if you can lead off batter, if you don't mind.
Okay, like I stated, I'm in the car, so I don't have the book, so I would have to do something new. But you know what it is. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. So I'm gonna do something new.
For sure. Is it me or he done froze up?
All right,
Oh,
there you
Now,
go.
okay.
so what it
Go ahead.
is, it's on my phone, so I can't. When I try to look at it, it takes y'all off. So
Right, right. I
Okay.
get it. I get it.
Oh, okay.
uh, hmm.
Don't worry about it. We come back around to it. We'll pass the mic back.
I can go to give him some time to get straight if that's you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah. Go ahead, Dre. Go ahead.
all right. So as I said earlier, my name is Dre, the Sunflower Poet. That's my artist name, and the I'm gonna read a new piece that I wrote, and it's pretty much about the Shreveport situation, that whole incident that happened where all those babies were killed, as well as the mom and the father, and that hurt me so bad. So I needed to write something about that. I have it has no name, but hopefully y'all appreciate this. It's dedicated to beautiful melanated babies. My heart bleeds when you no longer breathe. The onus of protecting you is on me and on we. We feel like we failed you. No more plots or eulogies before you learn the words to speak. The smell of flowers above ground or the feel of a summer breeze instead of seeing the end of a barrel before you learn how to read. Beautiful melanated families in a system that is trying to force you to extinction. Our ancestors aren't seeing past 30, and I worry that gravity will hold us down 6 feet beneath Mother Earth. Black is evil, says the English words. In this poem of adjectives and verbs, I love my people beyond. I flush out the etymology of the words because black is beautiful. In darkness, we consume the light. Community be the glue that heals our hurts. Easier to fight each other instead of loving first. Let revolution patch up the historical wounds and continue to be tapped into the creator. There's nothing greater. Keep our families closer together like my grandmother used to do. Delicious dinners, fried fish, mac and cheese, greens and biscuits, till stuffed stomachs settle satisfied. Smells I can remember, still fractured families, still familiar. Abuse of our DNA, medically, physically, spiritually, psychologically, descendants of blood slaves. If you ask me, hell no, they never want us to be free. In the spirit of I to be well, I want us to be well. Freedom songs in my head on replay. We shall overcome someday, some way. I want to create a sunflower poet.
Right, man.
Oh my
Fire.
God.
And that was fire. I
Yes,
ain't gonna
Oh my
lie.
God.
that was
Bro, that's
fire.
great.
Hold on, I
That's
got to
great.
find the hand claps. I got to find the
Man, we
hand
using
claps.
bombs, grenades, rocket launchers. That was crazy. That was good.
Thank you. Gratitude. Thank you.
Very, 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 very crazy.
Yes, Dre always bring it. Dre always
Yes, we
bring
do.
it though. I
That's why I try to always get
she,
out
she
run. I try to always
yes,
bring it back to the. Come on, man.
yes,
Come on,
indeed.
man.
Yes,
My
yes,
sister,
indeed.
my sister, divination. What you got, my sister? What you got, poet?
Okay, so uh, I'll read from the book, The Tales of a
Yes, ma'am.
Griot. I'll read my
Let's do it.
piece.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's called "What You May Learn." Yeah, what you may learn. What you may learn, you may regret. A rough, long roadway of secrets, where we used to eat porridge made of yam, where we called our elders sir and ma'am. You ask wise of the wise. The answer shouldn't come as a surprise. We had Shango, a warrior once, and we mocked it with Django, called it a brilliant one. Talk about the black joke, that slave ship of warriors fighting the enemy, where black comedians are fighting each other and calling it comedy. Forgotten history of coming across a world of great waves, forcing shackled trips from ancestors to slaves, hiding breadfruit and okra seeds to help us escape from the Portuguese. Though we tried and tried and tried and failed, what you may learn this folktale: a lime citrus spice trade, a history untold and arranged to fade, or start the story in the middle, make it more of an unbelievable riddle. So what you may learn, you may regret, a long, rough roadway of secrets. And that's what you may learn from the book Tales of the Griot.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well done.
I gotta say it. I gotta say it. I gotta say it, bro.
She she always teaching in her poems.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
don't know. She's always teaching
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
her poems, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say it, bro. I feel so good right now. The people in the panel don't even know this. We were talking about this two
I
years
strive
ago.
to
So
teach because I was taught, so I need, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We was 2 years ago talking about this
Mhm.
moment. We having our own open mic. The way we got our own slam situation. Like this feels so dope in this moment, man. This is giving me so much life right now, man. I'm so grateful right now, man. So grateful.
Mm-hmm.
So grateful. My man Ladarius, what you got, poet?
Ooh, let's see.
About that? Ooh.
So the poem is called "The Souls of Black Thought," and just give you some background information. So I was reading this book called Metu Neter by Ra Nefer, right? So he gave like a definition of self-knowledge, right? It said self-knowledge can be split up into two functions: the willed part of being and the automatic part of being. And the willed part is the things we pay attention to, like reading, writing, like we pay attention to that. And then you have the automatic part of things that you can't control, like healing of wounds, digestion, that happens automatically. And then he talks about how the willed part is based on limited knowledge, like knowledge you gain from outside of yourself, like books, lectures, and stuff like that. And then the automatic part of being is infinite knowledge, right? When you meditate and you connect with God and stuff like that. So then he goes into the wheel part, limited knowledge, that's associated with the left brain. And the automatic part of being the stuff that you can't control that happens automatically is associated with infinite knowledge, and it's also associated with the right brain. So you have left brain, right brain. And I used his definition of self-knowledge and I tried to reinterpret Du Bois's double consciousness, where he says you're looking at yourself through the eyes of others. And my thought process was, okay, but what if we looking at ourselves through the left brain, right? Because if you combine the left brain and the right brain, and they working together. That's how you get pyramids. That's how you get, we have right brain cultures, left brain cultures. Left brain cultures is European, Western culture. The right brain is black cultures and stuff like that. But if you combine the two, you get ancient Kemet, ancient Africans who built, like I just said, they built the pyramid, built everything. Pioneers of mathematics, all the different subjects. So this poem is my reinterpretation of Du Bois. Du Bois's double consciousness. It's called The Souls of Black Thoughts. And I start off with the epigraph. Or a quote from Du Bois. So it goes like, he says, 2 souls, 2 thoughts, 2 unreconciled strivings. And then I say, 2 aims, 2 brains, 2 unbalanced beings in one dark place. Left lurks from hurt forever within separation. Perfect in function, right is righteous with love and unification. Both brains have the same ingredients, but with a different taste. Both beings were one despite the history erased. Bear witness to the equilibration of our soul from the storehouse of infinite knowledge. Thawed out thoughts unveil the higher powers in self through mystery carvings of our past, waiting to be exalted. Formal, the normal lies of eyes looking at ourselves was invisible, placed out of conscious. It's mind and unchained, then free as can be. Each dream running wild from spiritual cages.
Yes, indeed.
Yo, come on, man.
Let's do one.
Yeah.
Come on, poet. I love that brother, man.
Yeah.
I love that brother. I love that brother.
Yes. Yeah, he got an old soul, man. He got an old soul. He mentioned Ra Unefa, right? And he reads a lot of the books I've read in my younger age. I'm way older than him, so he's I just love that brother, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the authors that we shout their names, you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't think that this brother would know who some of these authors are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And man, so I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate
you.
I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, POC, you ready to rock?
Love it. I love.
Yeah, can y'all see me and hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, sir.
You want to learn?
Okay, I had to put it in the chat because it wasn't working out, but I wasn't finna mess up y'all show. So
you good?
Let's go. Let's get it.
All right. Just to give a little backdrop, this piece is called Dossier. And actually, I was at church in the parking lot, and I overheard a couple that I know having a conversation. And it basically was based on somebody saying some things to their in-laws, how they were portraying him, and he didn't like it. And so I know plenty of husbands have kind of been through similar situations. And so it don't take much to spark my pen. So this is what came of it. Dossier. You told them about me in fragments, not realizing you were filing reports. Every glassy tear became an exhibit. Each complaint became a document. Unintentional late replies, time-stamped evidence. You thought you were just talking, venting, processing your feelings out loud. But your family was building a folder with my name on it. You never archived the nights of laughter. Never filed the days I rescued you from every threat, even when that threat was you. You never submitted entries of the way I gently hold your hand, like it's breakable glass. You didn't attach the way I pray at the drop of a hat before even the smallest decision of how I double and triple check that you made it home safe. How about you sound asleep and I cooked for you, went out into the freezing cold to warm up the whip for you, put petrol in it too. But those pages, they stayed in drafts. because you gave them frugal footnotes and the condescending commentary. He did this. He should have done that. He doesn't always communicate well. Yeah, Mom, he forgot. He said something wrong. Tiny human moments stacked like case files in a manila envelope of spiteful misunderstanding. So now when you say, I want you to meet them, their eyes scan me like the headlines of breaking news that you accidentally wrote. And now I get it. They aren't meeting me, they're meeting the dossier. And you still haven't realized you authored it. I wish you desired to reopen the file and add amendments, insert context, replace red ink with gold margins. Tell them how I look at you when you think I don't notice. Tell them the gravity of my effort. Tell them how much you learn when I teach. Tell them how you find ways to push me away, but I determined to stay. Tell them how your suitors only wanted a piece of you, but how I gave you all of me. But reputation is paper thin, and it's easily to crumble, easier to crease. And love, when not learned correctly, is human, messy, it's harder to file. So before I walk into that room, you owe me something, a corrected record, a fuller story, a love not edited by frustration. Because the truth is, I was never the villain in the file you built, just a man learning you while I was learning how not to turn moments into permanent ink. I don't need perfection, I just need fairness. I know I've stumbled, but I've also repented. I've apologized. I've grown. I didn't know my lowest days were being recorded without my redemption attached. Your family protects you. I respect that. But I wish they knew that I protect you too. Before I step into that room, I need to know, are you introducing them to your man or to your memory? Because I'm willing to stand accountable, but I won't carry a reputation that doesn't include my transformation. That's my piece.
Oh my God.
Right.
That is fire.
That's crazy.
Yes, indeed.
Crazy. Now let me ask one question. Hey Doc, how long did it take to
Yeah.
write that? How long did that take?
So I wrote most of it in the parking lot, and then I usually get home the next day. I just touch it up.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
First of all, I'm on my way to the altar. I feel like I need to repent. On my way to the altar. Because I like how you drew that picture. I felt away. Like that was like, oh, and I appreciate the point that you're making. Like you got to show the evolution of a person, like not just when you're frustrated or not just when it's over or whatever. Like the transformation of a person is important. And everybody deserves to hold their ground and stand their ground. And I appreciate that. I feel away. So that touched me. Everybody's piece touched me. I'm not a poet, but I'm like salivating at all the creativity that's on here. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I get to be a fan of you guys. And I love that posture for me. So thank y'all for sharing that. I'm a huge fan of all of y'all. I'm definitely going to be tapped in. Okay. Huge fan over here.
I want to tell anybody watching it right now, anybody watching the playback, go to every person individual Instagram page, Facebook, TikTok, whatever they got. Go find these people individually and scroll their page, look at their content, those that have books and music. Go and tap into their individual work, man, because they're here for a reason. Trust me, they're here for a reason. And no further ado, my co-host in this project, my brother Kofi, what you got for it?
All right. Let me go to it.
Hold on, what we flipping to? Because I'm trying to catch up. What we flipping to, Kofi? When you let me know. Okay.
Page 44, roller coasters of emotions.
Like we in the Bible now. Come on now. We going to page 44. Let me know when you got it. Let me know when you got it. Let me know when you put your hand up when you got it.
Hold on, let me see if I can do me. I guess not. I can do. It let me do everybody, but enlarging me, I guess. Or I don't know. Okay, this might let me do it. Let's see. All right. This is from the pain. The tales couldn't help but notice your pain, right? It's called roller coasters of emotions, and men, we do have emotions. I know a lot of women think that we don't have emotions or we don't go through certain emotions. So these are all of the emotions that I went through at a dark period of time in my life, where I was in a dark place, then I was in a high place, and then I was back in a dark place, then I was back in a high place. And all of this is what I experienced, right? It's roller coasters of emotions. In my dark time, I was doing time. Freedom snatched like the breath from a body. The world moved while I stood still. No letters from friends, no visits, no money on my books, just silence echoing off the concrete walls. I sat there confused, feeling used, abused by those so called friends. Oh, what a bad feeling. I swore this must be the end. No pretend, just another black man locked up, disowned, repeating the same old trend, same old cycle, same story on repeat. And that's what I get for trying to be bad, thinking I was thriller smooth like Michael Jackson. But the state said I had to pay for my actions. And through it all, that loneliness, through all the sadness, a girl I knew from college stepped back into my life. Out of nowhere, she came to see me. I was shocked, stuck between amazement and disbelief, and she kept the visitation list alive, wrote me letter after letter until the envelope became a lifeline, and the loneliness drifted away as I did day for day. She put money on my books. She showed up when the world disappeared. For the first time in a long time, I felt happiness trying to rise in me again. And on that day I got out, she was right there, standing with my mom, waiting for me with that steady, loyal energy. Weeks later, she relocated, moved in with me, and loyalty became something I couldn't see. Touch, breathe. We married, not just lovers, but real friends, a bond I thought we was building for the long haul. But the marriage has a way of revealing what dating will hide. Slowly, subtle, she changed. Little signs of disloyalty creeped in, attitude shifting, respecting fade, and then the truth cracked open. A double life. With me doing the day and her other life at night. Those nights I thought she was on an overnight job. She was lying in the arms of someone else. The day I caught her burning into my memory, I left the house we bought together, left the lies, left the life I thought we shared. The pain hit me like a thousand bricks. Sadness wrapped around me, then anger, then loneliness, then thoughts I must not be proud of. Dark thoughts, heavy thoughts, suicidal thoughts. Then came a brief spark of happiness, just enough to confuse me. Every day I switched emotions at the drop of a dime. Up, down, joy, rage, broken, healing, crumble, standing, a roller coaster of emotions. I never asked for this ride, but the life set me in the front seat anyway. And still I survive, still I rise, still I claim my story, because even in the chaos, I learned who was real and who was fake, and who I must never become again. This roller coaster did not break me. It just taught me how to hold on and never let go of me. Roller coasters of emotions.
Oh man.
Burn
Come
it
on.
down, Kofi. Burn it all down. That's fire, bro. Fire.
Vulnerability. You say
Appreciate.
vulnerability?
Yeah. And I didn't know what I was gonna do today, man. It just something said read this piece right here. So
I'm glad you did. I'm
I'm
honored
glad
that
y'all appreciate it. I'm glad
you
y'all
know
appreciate it.
a lot more ladies need to read the words of black men. And they sometimes say that we are thoughtless and we're careless and we don't have emotions and all these things. But if you really take the time and read our inner thoughts and read our words, you get a better understanding of how we're wired and what we feel and what we think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'll round up the lineup. No pressure on me after all that goodness. It's like a real open mic. You the last poet. It's like, all right, no pressure, no pressure. But here we go, man. Here we go. We're doing it, man. I'm closing out. So I'm doing a piece called Be Water. One of my recent pieces is not in the book. I wrote this after the book was published. So it's a recent piece. At the poet spot where I go when they be doing something new, they say new shit. So this is some new shit, right?
No shit.
New shit, right, right. So this is called Be Water. Baptize the truth. Never let it dry out. My hands stay pruned, rank, and safe in the youth. Cupping their fuses like sacred waters, I refuse to feel. I move through this world like a river spill, a myth, sunk beneath the surface, whispering currents, teaching them how to wade through the deep places life never warned them about. I pour wisdom slowly, let it trickle into their mind, carve a new pathway, the way that rivers carve their name to the side of mountains. Every lesson, a ripple, every word, a tide, pulling them forward, lifting them higher, washing away the soot of doubt and fear that tries to cling to their bones. Some days, I'm a storm, thunder in my voice, cleansing everything that needs to be undone. Other days, I'm a still pond, reflecting their brilliance back at me. Till they remember, you were born shining. Baptize the truth. Never let it dry out. We are myth in motion, living waters, rising tide, and every drop that I pass will become a wave that they'll ride long after I'm gone. Be water.
Be water.
Well done,
All
bro.
right.
Well done. Way to close out. Way to close out.
Pour that wisdom slowly.
Yes, indeed. Pour water.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. I
Out
enjoyed
for the
it.
homies.
Yes, indeed, man. I enjoyed everyone's piece, man. I enjoyed everyone's piece, man.
Thank
There's so
y'all.
much talent.
Thank y'all for doing that, man. Thank y'all for doing that. Real.
Yes, indeed.
So now we'll get to the
Enjoyed
main
it.
event, give some questions real quick from the panel. We've all heard everybody's talent and skill set. Now we get more so to the actual literal book, right? I want to ask Drea, the Sunflower Poet, first. I went to Miss Drea and I asked, could you please write a prologue to this book? I believe it's your first time ever even writing a prologue. So my first question is, how did you feel whenever that question came to you? How did you feel about it? And what was it like to actually write it?
I was nervous at first because being an avid reader, like I'm starting to understand like what a prologue, how important a prologue is. I used to skip over it before, like reading books and be like, oh, whatever, it's nothing important. And then when I finally started reading, it actually is like it sets the tone. It sets the tone for what you're about to do, and it really gives a lot of tidbits and information that you probably wouldn't get in the actual text, in the actual chapters. So with that thought in mind, I was actually like it was challenging. It was challenging. I accepted the challenge clearly, but it was very introspective for me. So I found myself going through that process and thinking like, okay, this is setting the tone for a poetry book. So like, what would I want somebody to read about first, to know about poetry first before you even read your first stanza or anything after that. So it was truly an honor, and I'm really glad you gave me that opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just know part two already in the making, so you will be back on part two. Don't let that pen get cold. You know what I'm saying?
Never.
Yeah. Dr. Wade. Dr. Wade is the intro queen, the queen of the introductions. Almost every book I've written in the past 3 or 4 years, Dr. Wade is always in the introduction. So as you said earlier, you're not a literal poet just yet. I'm gonna say that part. Because Dr. Wade is so knowledgeable and she's so deep, she got so much swag. When she finally put up into that page in that way, it's gonna be incredible. So my question is, how did you feel writing the introduction on a book like this, even though you might not be a poet yourself? You always in the poet spot, you always around the poets. How'd that feel?
Man, you know what? I'm always grateful when you bring me in, when y'all bring me in to introduce. And I love poets. I love the environment that they curate just in there with the energy. Poets, I love poets because you guys express something so intricate. You know, vulnerability is huge, and I think a lot of people, we want vulnerability, but we don't necessarily know how to receive it. And I commend poets and I commend the creatives that, you know, feel comfortable in that space to express, because again, we always talk about safe spaces, right? You know, everybody want a safe space, but like the way that you guys are, when you get to that space where you're safe, the vulnerability just like leaks out. And there's so much more besides the vulnerability, but I appreciate that. I appreciate the way that I get seduced by the creativity and the artistry of how you guys write and what you want to express. You know, it always intrigues me, like, why are you telling us this? Why are you telling this story, or why are you teaching, or why are you expressing your vulnerability? And in the introduction, I wanted to like lay the platform for people who don't go to art, poetry nights, what it feels like, what it looks like to be in that space, and like to be a consumer. Like, I'm not a poet, but to be just a straight up consumer of the feeling that you guys bring to a space, the feeling of love or of hurt or whatever it is that you express. We feel it just with the words without the physical touch, but the words take us to a place. So I'm grateful to be able to like share what that's like environmental wise. So when people, hopefully people can support you guys even better at the open mic nights. That's a whole place. Giving date night, it's giving I'm going to learn, it's giving I'm going to feel sensual. Like, you can, as a consumer and appreciator of arts and poetry, you can really go get your soul filled from these open mic nights, and really like allowing the poets to be themselves and then really receive what they have to give. So I was grateful to be like, you know what, let me put this little sprinkle on the introduction just to appreciate and honor the poets and the artistry and the creativity that you guys have innately. Like, this is who you are. This is not something that, I mean, of course you practice it, but it's in you. It's in your bones, in the way that you speak. It's in your blood. It's in the way that you present yourself. So I appreciate that as a consumer, and I hope, you know, in the introduction, people felt that and they felt welcome to the Tales of a Griot.
Yeah, yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, yeah.
I want to say that you and Drea did a phenomenal job with setting the tone for the book. Both of y'all went in two different aspects, you know, um, in y'all pieces. You know, one, you talked about the experience that you get when you go in these settings, and then another where, she trying to break down what is poetry and etc. So I think that two pieces was a great setup to go into the tale. So I just want to say, if I hadn't already told y'all, man, y'all did a phenomenal job. Um, with setting the book up, because it is pressure when we talk about you're talking about writing an introduction for a book. When you're talking about writing a prologue for the book,
Yeah.
that can definitely I can definitely ruin the book. I can definitely ruin the experience where people
Come
can
on,
read it
man.
and then put it down and don't want to pick the book back up because
Yeah.
the introduction, the prologue wasn't good. So therefore, most people may judge the rest of the material may be bad. So,
Yeah.
y'all both did a phenomenal job, you know what I'm saying, with doing that, man. So I appreciate y'all greatly
Let me speak
for
on this
setting
for
the
like
tone.
30 seconds, right? Doing the introduction, the prologue, the forward, anything in the beginning, the average person that do pick books up, they probably won't finish the book. That's just what it is. All of us do it. I got tons of books that's not finished, right? But the introduction and the prologue and the forward, I'm pretty much going to read that. It's the beginning of the book. It's the front matter of the book. So y'all being in the beginning of the book, no matter what, a lot of folks not gonna finish this book, but they're gonna see Drea part and they're gonna see Dr. Wade part. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to always keep in mind whenever you're asked to do this. It's definitely going to be seen most likely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister,
Doc.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
My sister
Go
divination.
ahead.
Yeah. So how did you feel whenever we come to you for these pieces and you write pieces in the Assembly magazine on a regular basis? How did it feel putting a piece inside this publication?
Oh man, I'm always forever grateful. The fact that you even thought of me to contribute a piece. I'm very, very grateful because not everybody gets this opportunity, and when I get an opportunity to where I can just share what I love most, poetry is like that's the love of my life. Just like how a lot of people say hip hop is their love of the life, poetry is mine. So when I'm asked, especially by a friend, someone that knows what he's doing, when it comes to poetry and writing, and come and ask me, hey, can you write a piece? I'm on it. You notice when you asked me, right when y'all was starting it, you asked me, hey, would you like to be a part of it? I instantly sent you a piece. And the funny thing is, I forgot all about it till it was almost getting ready to be released. I literally did. I wrote the piece,
Yes,
gave it to
yes,
you, and then that was it. And then you hit me with a whole surprise with, hey, look, check this out. It's in the book. I was like, oh wow. And that feeling is oh man, I look for that feeling of wow, that is absolutely amazing. It's like a dream come true for me because you asking me, it means that you see me. It means that you hear me. It means that you love what I do. And that's what I want. I want people to see me and hear me and love what I do. I want other people to feel like I feel when I write a piece, when they read it, like, hey, I feel seen. I want other
yeah.
people to feel seen and feel heard. So I'm forever grateful when you when you come to me and be like, hey, would you like to be a part of this? Would you like to send a piece? Yeah, I sure will. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And you know me, Sean knows he knows that I'm known for writing really long pieces. So a lot of times when he does come to me or if Kofi asks me, I'm like, I don't know if I could send a long piece.
Oh,
Some of my pieces I gotta break down to like 3 or 4 pieces.
no.
I recently sent Sean P a piece. Just to let you know, sir, that was only part one to out of 4 parts. So just imagine.
I can't wait till the war piece.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm forever grateful, most definitely, when you ask.
Important for the
Mm-hmm.
Griot podcast audience to know that every person on the
Mm-hmm.
panel, the sister, my sister, we go back years, sending pieces back and forth to each other for hours at a time.
Yes.
She is a large part of the beginning of my development as a poet. Years ago, I sharpened the sword with her, going back and forth. And me and my man Doc on the bottom of the
Yeah.
screen, me and mad years, sending rhymes and 16s back and forth. And me and Drea, even when I first met Drea years ago, I was sending
Yeah.
things back and forth to Drea. So all these people, I sharpened the sword with these people. So when she talk about being seen, of course I see you. Like you was the first one that gave me a chance in the Instagram space, like gave me chances, look at my work, gave me feedback when nobody else would. That was this person. So the audience can understand that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Doc a question.
Yeah, go with it.
Yeah. Uh, what was it like, Doc, getting a call for Sean and he asking you to donate one of your beautiful pieces to this piece of art that we call in the Tales of a Griot.
So a lot of people may or may not know Sean and I go back to circa 2000. And so
Yeah, friendship for real, man. 26.
yeah, I mean, literally blood couldn't make us no closer. So like to even call him a friend seems like a insult. That's my
Mhm.
brother, and I wouldn't let nobody call him anything different. So just because of his character and the type of person that he is, anytime he needs anything, I'm like, man, just whatever you need. And so he's like, nah, I just need a piece. I'm like, what you want it to be about? And he like, just send whatever. I'm like, well, what's the book about? He like, Doc, just send a piece. I'm like, okay, I'll send it right over. And so just like the young lady that spoke before me, I had forgotten that I had sent him something. And he calls me a couple of days ago, like, "Oh yeah, we're doing the podcast, and we doing the pieces." I'm like, Sean, what you talking about? He like, I'm like, oh, and I was like, what did I even send you? So just to sum it all up, it's an amazing feeling for to have somebody you've known that long to still want your input and to also simultaneously share opportunity for share what you believe is your gift. So I love to echo what the sister said for people to be seen, but I also want to add that sometimes it's a beautiful thing to give people agency for those who can't speak or for those who sometimes don't know what to say. And so I'm pretty sure the piece that I sent was kind of one of those like, okay, maybe you don't know how to put it into words. Hopefully I can come close to putting it in there for you. So it was an amazing feeling. Anytime he would want me to do it again, I'm down for it. And to me, it was a sheer blessing.
So in this
Right there.
20, and I met Doc at 18, 19 years old, which I heard today, he was doing this 26 years ago. He was already playing with it when I met him. And I met Doc. I was just playing basketball, and that's it. I wasn't reading books. I wasn't writing anything. Like, no. He was the one that made me realize that his poetry thing is kind of dope. His writing thing is kind of cool. He was the one that made me realize that, wait a minute, these girls write poetry?
Yeah.
He got so many bars when he's rapping, man. He got so many bars. I'm like, man, like he made me realize I can be more than just an athlete. And that will started to stir with him 20 some years ago, man. As I started writing over the years, he the one I would go to and send bars back and forth and help me understand timing and cadence and rhythm and all the nuances of it. I did that with him. So the ugliest parts of my writing, he saw all of that 24 years ago. And he still gave me confidence, and he still was a great teacher to me. And I appreciate that brotherhood to this day, man. You know, black man to black man.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Sean, just a little tidbit for your audience. I remember your first piece. I won't put it out there, but you wrote it about basketball. You remember?
I do remember.
Classic.
I do
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. And you didn't believe me for anything, but I was like, nah, man, you got something. You was like, quit playing. I'm like, nah, bro, this is pretty good. He wouldn't believe me for nothing. So hopefully, 26 years later, he will believe what I said over 20 years ago that he was gifted with that pen.
I finally believe, man. I believe. I believe.
Meanwhile,
Hey,
Doc, I'm trying to get that piece that you dropped. Okay, I'm trying to get that piece, that new piece that you dropped. I'm trying to get to that. So I don't know where I'm gonna have to email you or something like that. That really did something for me. But that's the thing too about the poets. Y'all be opening our eyes, like the way that you're teaching us and guiding us and shepherding us just through your art. And even Drea and Janavi, y'all are teaching us. And we in a season where we need to learn. We really do need to learn, and people learn in different ways. You know, some people learn really good in lectures. Some people learn really good by touching things. Some people learn really good in the creative space, the poetry space. And like even that piece that you spit right here today, Doc, really touched me on a different level. And I'm trying to get to it because I want to remember, you know, what you said. And I don't think I've ever like experienced that perspective of like the other side of a heartbreak or a breakup or whatever, like that piece. Like, hey, remember I did this, that, and you'd be like, yeah, you did, yeah, you did, yeah, you did. But we often don't even do that. We don't give credit, and we always are like, let somebody be the villain. It's easier to let somebody be the villain than to take accountability. And I can't even lie, I'll be looking for certain shit. So when you were like, okay, I'm taking accountability, I'm like, okay, that changes the tide, because a lot of times there's not that piece, that part, that accountability part. And I'm grateful. And now that tells me a lot about you. And I'm a big character person. Okay. And this is my first time meeting you. So that already tells me something about you just on the way that you laid that out for us today. I appreciate all of y'all's work, especially as as a person that just appreciates art. Like you, I'm blessed. Okay. Can you come over here giddy? I'm like, oh, this is cute. Because the way that you guys guide us to certain places and things. And even like right now, Drea's teaching through her poetry. She's teaching us Black history through poetry. And I'm really surprised at Ladarius. I'm like, what? I didn't even know this about you. So like I don't know. I'm all giddy. I'm glad to be a consumer on this side. And I'm all in my fields. And I'm just really grateful to be in the space. And I think as a person on the outside that's not a poet, we need to support our artists and really get in the spaces where they're doing open mic nights and really receive what the people are putting down. Thank y'all so much for this.
Yeah, yeah. Let me say this, man. Like doing these books, to me, every book is a mixtape, right? So I feel like Robert Townsend back in the day with the Black movies and everything like that, and the different actors he put on back then in the 80s and the 90s. I feel like Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam and what he did for early comedians. When I write a project, I could have easily wrote a book by myself and just have my name on it, the whole project. I have that many pieces, but like, why would I do that? I want the world to see Doc. I want the world to see Drea and Ladarius. I want the world to see Kofi. And I want the world to see these people. Like, forget about me. Look at these dope people. I love a person reading my book and they say, boy, showing the introduction so fire. I didn't write that. You know what I'm saying? I love that feeling when I'm putting somebody on. So every book that I write, I'm going to always include other people. You probably would never get an only showing project. It's not going to happen because I got too many dope folks in my circle to do it by. Why would I do that? It would never happen. It's not going to happen.
I have a question for Kofi. Kofi, first of all, I appreciate all your contributions, and I definitely felt like way closer to you, way more like understanding of you through this book right here. And my question is about safe space. How important is your poetry as a safe space, as your writing poetry as a safe space for you? Because I feel like you express a lot deeper, you express a lot more in your poetry than you do in any other space. So I want you to tell us like how important this is to you as far as the safe space in your poetry.
Hold on, I thought I'm on mute. I'm sorry, I was on mute. This project, I stated like I done been a part of a lot of different book projects and my own book projects as well. But this one was the most important to me, is because it evoked a lot of different emotions. I feel I forgave myself of some stuff when I was writing this book. This was a process of healing. So everything that I expressed, this was something that I wanted to try to get out, and through me expressing it through my pen, it healed me. Even today, with me picking this also um let me forgave myself for some mistakes that I made, but also let me forgave my first wife for some stuff that she did to me, but appreciate when she was there in my darkest hour. You know what I'm saying? So this publication, I've wrote a lot of personal things in there when you read it, but this was the it was a safe space for me, but it was a project for healing. It was a project for forgiving myself. It was a project of not being ashamed and letting people and express, because a lot of people don't know I've been locked up. A lot of people don't know. Tell people they like that was one of the things I was saying, that when I talk to different people or I network with certain people and I feel comfortable, and if I do, I don't share a lot of my personal stuff that I went to. But if I do, and I say it, some people may say they don't believe me. You know what I'm saying? But these are some things that, I went through, some things that I've been shamed of, a lot of other different things I've been shamed of, I've done in my past, you know what I'm saying, that I wouldn't speak on. But now I'm speaking on it, I'm letting it out, because it's no longer for me I'm not the same person. And some of those person uh um um developed me to be the person that I am today. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like a death. It was a birth, a death, and then a resurrection of who y'all see today. So this was a, uh, um, like I said, the best project, in my own personal life. I mean, my own opinion that I've ever been involved with because of the emotions I was able to even reading the piece while ago. I was trying not to get too emotional about reading some of those pieces because it do bring back some bad memories, but it also bring back some happy memories as well. But this is one of the most important piece of art that I've been a part of, and I appreciate. I've told Sean that I appreciate him for um, allowing me to say, "Hey, man, let's do this project together, man, and let's bring all these other different people in because we discussed this 2 years ago, and I told him this was a dope idea, and then we wanted to try to put it out last year, but for some reason we weren't able to get it put out last year. But this year we was determined to put it out. So and for a lot of people that don't know, like I started out as a poet first. This was poetry was my first love as a young boy. And even when you read through the books, poetry has come. I fell in love with poetry. I wasn't in love with poetry. Then through my darkest time, I picked poetry back up, and then I was able to express poetry in my darkest hour when I was locked up with other. This is what I did. It was my hustle. I wrote poems and gave poems to the inmates to share with their loved ones, with the their children, with their significant others, their girlfriends. I let it along for a while, and then I'm glad that
Right.
Sean, huh?
You've been Ghost right the whole time.
Yeah. So, and Sean, being a part, and then him pushing me, and I'm saying he pushing me. I don't think he know that he pushed me even after we talked about it and we talked about doing it. I had tons of folders with nothing but poems in them. Some of them, the poems you get are old. I just took and put new paint on it. Might have put a new set of wheels on it. You know what I'm saying? Just polishing them up. And some of them was new poems that I did. And Sean pushed me because he started doing what he was saying he was doing with Drea and what he was doing with Juvenile, and that was sharing the poems. So when he was sending me stuff, you know what I'm saying? It was actually hyping me up because once I would read, I was like, hell no, I got to go ahead. So I started pulling out some of my poems, and I ain't gonna use this. I'm gonna throw this in the garbage. Okay, I can polish this one up. Okay, I got a new idea. Sean talked about this. Oh, okay, it brought back a memory from this. Let me start writing about this. So it kind of got me back into writing, you know what I'm saying, which was my first love. And then I became that because I wouldn't have been a musician if it wasn't for poetry. Poetry catapulted me into producing music. It catapulted me into writing raps. You know what I'm saying? It catapulted me to doing shows. You know what I'm saying? It actually catapulted me into just writing, in general. That's where my writing craft started out with poetry. So poetry, through this book also made me realize that writing is everything to me, and writing wouldn't be everything to me if I wouldn't been in love with poetry as a as a young boy. So again, this project was like I said, one of my favorite and best projects that I've ever put out.
I want to speak on something right fast. It's important for the audience to hear. In the social media world we're living in right now, people are so big on hoarding what they have, and they feel like I don't want nobody to see, somebody gonna steal it, somebody gonna take it. If I just show somebody what I'm working on, they're gonna take my idea. Talk about how important sharing is, because a lot of times, whenever Drea or Kofi or Divination, anybody, whenever they're sharing things at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning with me, it's just me to see it right quick. They don't mean nothing by it, but it energizes and sparks my mind like, oh, you like that? Bet. And like Kofi just said, now I'm gonna shoot something right back about it. And then I'm gonna show Kofi something. Kofi like, man, Sean doing that. It's not like a negative competition, it's a healthy competition. It's like, oh, you like about that? Bet, watch this. Are you doing it like that? And so we all just feeding each other. It's a big old circle. It's reciprocal. You know what I'm saying? It's not nobody not stealing from each other. Nobody not taking from each other. We're adding to each other. Think about how important that is, poets.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Now, I'll say something about the book myself too. I mean, I as a even in reading the poetry from you and Sean P, like it was, it's very vulnerable because I've read your work. I've read y'all work beforehand. So um, I remember reading the modern day Griot and thinking about how y'all painted the picture of your lives and your background, things like that, and then fast forward to now with Tales of a Griot. Yep, right there. I remember that in full circle. My
Mm.
first piece with y'all was for that book. I definitely remember that. So thank y'all for that. But yeah, just for people, I think like Sean P and I have conversations. Like you call yourself a poet, then that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be it, like it's very much in your control. So like, I don't. When people are like, oh well, you got all the expertise, you've been doing this a while. Yeah, well, I've been doing this a minute, but I was at a point where I didn't believe it, where I didn't think that I was, that title fit me. Just like Griot or Griots, like I didn't think that title fit me. But the more you leaned into it, the more it was like, okay, well, this is me. And as Kofi listed at the beginning of the show, by definition, like all of us are in that space because we're doing multiple forms of creativity, like the ancestors did. Like I've been learning, like I've been reading, like they all have multiple layers of creativity in their own way, and that's what made them great. So that's my piece on that.
No doubt. No doubt. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And then I didn't even know that Ladarius was a poet. That
Yeah,
shocked me when Sean turned his piece in. I said, Ladarius different? You know?
that was the next question. That was the next question. Ladarius, how did you feel with them asking you to be a part of this project? How did you feel?
Honestly, I feel like you set me up. So
Wait a minute.
Sean P set me up. So let me see how this happened. So like this was like 2023. Me and Sean met like in 2020 or something like that. So I think like one day he like sent me some lyrics, rap lyrics, right? And then I had an opportunity to take a poetry class as a part of my master's program. So I took the poetry class. And as a creative, I'm always thinking about how can I challenge myself and say if I'm writing a paper, can I express that paper as a poem? Can I express that paper as a motion graphic, as a GIF, as a sketch or drawing? So I'm fairly new to poetry. So Sean gave me that inspiration to take that poetry class, right? And then afterwards, we started doing these micro poem challenges on Instagram. Like he'll tag me in it. I see it. I see what he wrote. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I'll go in there, I'll do my little 11-word poem. And then the next week, the person that's hosting the micro poem challenges, they'll post the winner and stuff like that. So sometimes I would get first place, Sean get first place, or we'll get honorable mentions. So that give you some more confidence. And then,
Yeah, yeah.
Sean, he'll send you more work. Okay. Just getting that. It's like iron sharpening iron at the end of the day. So then, now I'm thinking about publishing, right? I'm submitting poems to my master's program. They have a journal. You can submit poetry or submit your essays. So I'm submitting stuff in there. Sometimes it get published, sometimes it doesn't. And then
I love these stories. I love it.
Then Sean asked me, "Hey, I like that poem. You put it. You want to put it in my book?" So I'm like, "Of course." So it went from inspiration to publication, right? And when you hang around Sean P or
Bars.
Kofi,
Bars. I'm gonna need you to run that back. I'm gonna need you to run that back.
Rewind. What they say in the spaces.
From inspiration to publication. So
I did my job.
When he set me up just by sending me, hey man, what you think about this? I feel inspired to take a poetry class, and now I'm published in one of his books. Also too, so when you hang around a Sean P or a Dr. Wade or a Kofi, you see them going live, or you hang around Drea, you see Drea perform her poetry on live. So now I'm like, you're giving me opportunities to grow, right? So that's how I look at it. So I'm thankful and grateful, and I love y'all for that. So so now, because I was before I came on the podcast today, um, I was learning about Lewis Latimer. He write poetry and stuff like that. So I seen this poem he wrote. I like, should I read this out loud? Should I perform this poetry? Right? When you follow Drea the Sunflower on Instagram, she performing every day.
Yes, she is.
You know what I'm saying?
Performing well.
The voice inflection, the highs, the lows. I'm like, okay, I should challenge myself.
Yeah.
I should be inspired. You know, Sean posts his slams on Instagram. So I'm gonna just challenge myself today. Let me just read the poem. Let me perform.
You did good too. You did good.
You know? I appreciate you. So yeah. So that's how I feel about Sean asking me to publish one of my poems. It was a poem that I expressed in a different medium. It was an article idea about like maybe it'll work better, maybe it'll come off better, or maybe it'd be more digestible if I express it as a poem instead of an article. So now I have grown to love poetry. Like my first introduction was like Love Jones with There's Love Hall, you know.
Yeah. Love Hall. Brother to the night. Brother to the night. That blues in your left eye, trying to be like, right. That
I just thought it was all about, you know, sex and stuff. I don't know, all the little kid watching all the
read. Do you hear me?
You know. So.
I performed that piece last year, man. I performed it at an open mic last year. I performed it. It was fun.
That's what's up.
It was fun. But no, here's something important that I remember before we leave, right? It's National Poetry Month. The month coming to a close. Anybody that want to get more poetry books and audio books and all that, there's a big sale going on Amazon the whole month. I've been collecting poetry books like crazy, audio sales, Kindle sales. So go over there. So it's hundreds of dope poets out there, man. Go in. You love poetry, the world of poetry. Go over there and definitely get your download on while you can, man, at a good price. At a good price. Before we go to the women's segment, since Dr. Wade, I want y'all to know this, audience and the panel. I am currently working on the Tales of a Griot, the workbook. So there will be an accompanying workbook to this book of poetry, right? And Kofi and myself in private working on this. Things that I do on a daily basis to sharpen my sword. He said it earlier, some of the micro poetry, things I do breaking down syllables, things I do describing scenery and being more vivid and things like that. All these different drills to be put into a book format for homeschoolers, after school programs, anybody out there want to write, man. Just I'm showing you the tools that we use to make the tales. So the tools of the tales is a possible title.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, so let's get into the women's segment. Dr. Ashley Wade, I think she stepped away. She's still here. Okay, so let's get into the women.
I just had to go see it, get my item.
I'm surprised she ain't strapped to you. Like she strapped to you.
Because it's giving. So thank y'all so much for giving me a moment to talk about women making history, women doing amazing things. I'm really grateful again to be a part of this particular podcast, and especially with this segment today. It's been beautiful. I want to say that. I've had a great time like tapping in with y'all. But I do want to give Ida B. Wells some more flowers. I finally finished the book. And I think
well done. That's a 600-page piece.
Okay. And you see how I'm holding on to her like real tough. Like I feel like I feel like I know her. I feel like I understand her. And the biggest thing that I wanted to share with y'all today about Ida B. Wells, I know we talk a lot about when we talk about history, we talk about the work, like the accomplishments and things like that. What I wanted to share about her today, which she is calling me to share, is her hospitality. Ida B. Wells is one of those types of people where, you know, she didn't see her fellow brothers and sisters. She didn't deal with them with arm's length. And I wanted to say that because you guys talked a lot about how you inspire each other and how you like communicate with each other on the back end. And Ida B. Wells is telling me today just to confirm that for y'all and with y'all, that hospitality that we share with the common person, you know, not just the elite, not just the smartest, you know, the most educated, the ones with all the degrees and accolades, the common person, and how much space we hold. One thing that I love the most about her is that when she would go into the communities to investigate the lynchings, she would often invite people like into a home. So she wouldn't just like meet me at so and so and we're gonna talk about it. She would invite people into a safe space to share their stories. And when there were times where people were scared to say what they saw, she would come into the spaces like, let me share it for you. Tell me, and I'm gonna go to bat for you. I'm gonna stand up for you. I'll speak for you. And I think, as you know, relating that to the show today, you guys speak for a lot of people. I know so many people that are like, man, I wish I could say that, or man, I wish I could be as vulnerable, or oh, I feel that same way, but they don't have the words, they don't have the know-how, or the community of encouragement to go ahead and do the thing. So I just wanted to give some flowers to Ida B. Wells in the woman segment, and kudos and congratulations to the Tales of a Griot, and just remind people like we have to grow to a place where we see each other for real, and that we stand in the gap for each other for real, and we love each other for real, because there's a lot of fake out there. We all types of AI that's like, oh, let me do it for you, but nothing can replace the hospitality and the heart and the sweetness and the virtue of real connection and real vulnerability. And I think that, you know, Ladarius said something earlier about the growth that he's experiencing as a young man from being tapped into us. And even like, you know, he's never met Dre in person. I don't think so. He way up there on the East Coast. Maybe y'all will meet because I think Dre is up there on the East. But the fact that you guys are inspired by each other and you continue to like grow, I feel like that hospitality is a baseline, that welcoming feeling, that welcoming energy is a baseline. And that's a good lesson that I received from Ida B. Wells. Past her work, past all the sacrifice, all that stuff, is her spirit and the hospitality that she provided for people, and allowing people to have a safe space. And I want to give, love to poetry for being a connection for this particular book and for this podcast and this union today. Y'all are so special to me. I'm a huge fan of all of y'all. A new fan of the doc.
Yes.
Fan of the doc. I'm gonna have to make sure I tap into his work. But I'm just
Yeah.
so grateful for the hospitality of you guys, and then for allowing me on an outsider to come in, because I'm not a poet. So I was just surprised that Sean P was like, come in on this. Because there's a different perspective that I can add to it as far as being a consumer and being an appreciator. So I just want to give love for, in a place where her heart should have been hard, she was still a soft-hearted person, and she was able to be hospitable and allow people to be free. Shout out, much love to I.B. Wells.
I have a fun challenge for you, Dr. Wade.
Oh, here we go.
I feel like what you just said is a poem.
Don't stress me out today.
So write a poem about Ida B. Wells, Dr. Wade.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take the challenge. You guys are taking up each other's challenges. Okay.
Because I haven't finished her book, but like I was trying to write a poem about Ida B. Wells. Like I only got like 2 lines. So like I was really inspired by Langston Hughes. He got a poem called Harlem. He starts off with a question. He says, what happens to a dream deferred? Right?
Yep.
So my question would have been, what's at the bottom of Ida B. Wells?
Ooh.
Wow.
You know
I like that.
Pink papers and late bodies.
Write that down.
I gotta write that.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Write that down.
This is
Send it to me.
Everything is content. Doc just told y'all that. Everything is content.
And y'all are so deep. That's another thing I want to say. Y'all are so deep. That's another attribute that I love about poets. And in the world of superficiality, everything is superficial nowadays. I appreciate the depths that you'll go to express, to teach, and the passion that you have to express, to teach. I'm a huge fan of the poets. I'll be in the building. I'll be doing all the snaps. Yes, I'm gonna say new shit. I'm gonna be the loudest one. New shit. I love that. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different world. So I appreciate y'all. And Ladarius, I'll get my pen out. I'll get my pen out.
Okay.
Just let the emotions flow, because you know what I'm saying. Just let it.
I got a question
Just
for
let it go. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
I call Drea the queen of this, right? Drea has the gift of reading a 500-something page book and putting it into like a 2 or 3 minute poem. Give Dr. Wade some tips on like how you go about distilling it. Like, how do you do that? If it's even possible to answer that question.
And Drea is reading this book right now, for the record. Drea is reading this. Yeah.
Wow.
And I just bought it. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. I just bought it.
Book club.
Okay.
It's getting.
We already there.
Yeah.
We talking about like when you so sometimes as a newbie, when it comes to writing a poem, sometimes I can get caught up in trying to be abstract, right? Or like using rhetorical strategies, or should I do a double entendre, or should I, sometimes they can stifle me from actually writing the poem.
Yeah.
Instead of just writing, just write.
Let it go, man.
Yeah.
You thinking too much into.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
process
I
is your
appreciate y'all support in advance. Because now I get to be in the DMs like, check this out, check that out. Yay.
Join the portal, right? Join the portal. But this is my advice. Anybody watching this, for real, as far as beginner, this is the importance of rewriting and revising, right? So the Ida B. Wells that he just said, for an example, if I had that as a challenge for myself, I get a blank page or whatever, phone, whatever. I will write, what do I feel about Ida B. Wells first? Whatever thought, whatever emotion, just get that down. Then I'm going to go back and how I put this into some bowls. Then if I want, now I'm going to go back the third time and I'll go to the devices, double entendre, alliteration. I'm going to use this device, that device to express it. But the first thing is to get the feelings and the thoughts on the paper first. Now I'm going to play with all these things on the back side. But if you get stuck on that in the front side, you'll never get it done because you just stuck on the mistakes, you know what I'm saying?
So sometimes it'll come to it's a book by I think I was looking for a book on thrift or something. It's this book titled by Derek Bell. It said At the Bottom of the Well. And I would read Ida B. Wells.
Yep, Derek Bell.
Water whale, whales. What's at the bottom of Ida B. Wells?
Yep.
And then when you're thinking about that, you read her story. Okay, they did destroy her printing press. So what is at the bottom of Ida B. Wells? Is it
in the dirt
and lynched bodies? You know what I'm saying? So you just
you're a little bit younger. I'm an incredible Jay-Z fan.
Yeah.
Jay-Z said, if you in the drought, I wish you well. You in the drought, I wish you well. How thick am I? It was a double entendre on the well, you know what I mean? Of course, the drug game, you in the drought. You in the drought, I wish you well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you got Wales fare? Welfare?
Yeah.
Ida B. Wells was provided
in many ways.
Well, yeah.
So, metaphors are your friend.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Plenty of space for wordplay. That's for sure. Plenty of space for wordplay, alliteration. There's so many things you could do. And for me, it's like a poem being finished, like it has various versions of that. Like sometimes you leave it and then you go back years and refine it. And sometimes it's ready right now, you know?
It's never done. Never done.
So do you think it's a difference between, okay, I wrote this poem on paper, but it's different?
It is.
I'm gonna write it different or say it different when I'm performing on stage.
It is. As a performer, I'm sitting at the open mic. I'm editing in real time because my spacing different when I perform versus the written piece I'm giving you on Instagram or something. When I'm performing, I want to have space to give me time for breath and to give me pauses and give me dramatic moments and give me, if it's all on top of each other, I have a hard time looking at that in real time in front of the mic, in front of a crowd. I want to have more space than I normally need. So I'm double and triple spaced in my balls for me. Drea?
As far as performing, it's all different energies with it. I mean, it's depending on how much you practice it, depending on what the energy was from the poem. Like I definitely do better when I read it. When I read less of it, and I don't need to read it; it just comes naturally.
Yeah.
But when I
Mhm.
do read it, I'm more focused on like the alliteration, like the pronunciations, like. So that's why I'm like I try to practice more before I read it. That way I already know, like I already have an idea of like the emotions and the pauses and everything. So performing it versus writing it, like there's definitely going to be two different energies.
Two different ways. Two different ways.
Mhm.
So there's
Yeah.
your public work, there's your performance work, and then there's like when you're doing something for Instagram or something like that. Like that's three different things on the same piece.
You
That's how
also have to,
technical.
So do you
yeah,
have
you
like?
also have to decide if you are a reader or are you a performer.
Yeah.
Because
Ooh,
some poets are not performers, some are just readers. For example, Maya Angelou was a performer. Nikki Giovanni was a reader. She said it herself. She said, "I'm not the spoken word performer, but I'll read it." She's a reader.
mm,
Yeah.
It's a wide umbrella, man. It's dope. And some people are better at their written poetry versus watching them on stage. And some people will blow you away on the stage, but you read the actual written work, you be like,
yeah.
so like for me, it's my aspiration. I want to do both. I want to amaze you in both of those worlds. That's my dream for myself as an artist. I want to kill both.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely want to experience the on stage thing. Just unfortunately where I'm at and in the surrounding areas, we don't have none of that here. We don't have that nowhere for me to actually go. So I'm gonna try to get out there one day and make some time and drive 2.5 hours, 3 hours to where Sean at just to get on there. Just this, I want to experience that. I want to.
It's
Want it.
addictive,
That's why
man.
you don't hear.
It's addictive, dog.
But I'm glad Juvenation just said what she said because I never, even though poetry have always been my first love, I've never said I was a poet. Even now, even with the book out, y'all say y'all. I never say that because I haven't performed any pieces that I've wrote, even old pieces like some of this stuff in here, old pieces, some of them new pieces, and even growing up, coming up, you know, I never did
But Kofi, guess
any
what? I just called myself poet like this past year. Like my little thing on the
yeah.
bottom of the screen, my name, I just added
Mm,
poet on there like a matter of months ago. And I had
mm,
been 4 or 5 years going to open mics and slam, performing. I had been writing, posting, winning challenges. I had never called myself this thing until like I thought about like, how am I not a poet? Became the question. You know what I'm saying?
right.
How am
Right.
I
And
not?
that's why I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad Juvenation said what she said, reference
You a
some
poet.
or readers
You a poet.
and some, do the spoken word or perform. But I want to be able to do both. I want to be able to do. I just even if I don't do it, but one time I would like to have. I want to know what that feeling is to
Yeah.
be on stage and perform a piece. Now I've been on stage
Big
numerous of
Leo
times growing
energy.
up when I was doing music. We stayed on stage, but I've never did a poetry piece on stage. So that's something that I definitely want to be able to experience.
You walk there and say something, right? Then when you finish, somebody come to you and shake your hand after, like, bro, I know exactly what that feels like. Oh man, my grandmother just died, or I can relate to that feeling, or whatever. Like when they give you that kind of feedback in real time, you know
Mm,
you own something. So you do that at 2 in the morning by yourself, just writing it to yourself, not knowing how it's gonna land in real time, and then you can feel the crowd like leaning to it. You can feel the crowd being like stuck into the moment. And you playing with the pauses, right? They hanging on your every word. Baptize the truth. And they're like, never let it dry out. Hands stay wrinkled. They just like, what's next? And you playing with that pause. You making them
yeah.
wait. You teasing them with it. Like it's the art
Uh,
form. It's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
so who is your favorite?
I can do it next time.
Who is your favorite poet? So sometimes, like right now, talking about growth. So sometimes I have, ooh, I think I got like 5, 8 poetry books. So now when I'm at home, right, I have all of Langston Hughes' poems. Dr. Wade, this might help you out. So I was looking at. So Langston Hughes probably wrote like 800 poems in his lifetime. So I'm looking at his poems.
Yes, sir.
Most of them short as hell.
Yeah.
Like 6 lines. So I'm looking at that because back in my mind, I'm like, damn, poetry, you got to write a long ass poem. No.
I don't do
It
long.
can be 4 lines.
I don't do long.
It can be 4 lines. So like, my question is, back up. So sometimes when I'm at home, I'll read his poems. I'll perform his poems like I wrote it. So I ask my kids, what happens to a dream deferred? And they 5 and 3, and they'll respond back to me and say, does it drive like a raisin in the sun?
Oh, yeah, I like that. We need that.
Yes. So my question is like, who is your favorite poet and poem? Who do you look up to? Who is,
My favorite is Joshua Bennett.
He
has a poem he did on the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary about Tupac Shakur and Mike Tyson's relationship, their brotherhood together. And he has a piece on there he did about Mike Tyson and boxing. And the metaphors he used to describe Mike Tyson at the end of it, he was like, why do you think they call it boxing? And when he did that 15 whatever years ago, it just blew my mind. Like, how did he do that? And I kept on watching it over and over and over again. Like I even performed it last year. I reimagined it last year, right? But like, he's my favorite poet when it comes to performance and the written word. Is Joshua Bennett. He all over YouTube. You can find him.
Yeah, mine as well. We both spoke about him in acknowledgement segment. Then I think we actually talked about his book on one season of the Griot podcast, didn't we, Sean?
I think it's called Spoken Word or something like that.
Yeah, hold
on. I'm trying to drop my favorite.
Yeah, that's a loaded question because there's so many poets that I read and study. It's so hard to pick one. It really is. Oh man.
I like him and Cliff Smith. I met Cliff Smith year and a half ago when we went to the book festival down in New Orleans. Me, Sean, and the 2 other sisters. I forgot their name, is escaping my mind at this moment.
There's something else going on in New Orleans in June. I may slide down to New Orleans at the end.
Hey, let me know now. Let me know if you come down there.
Okay, because I'm thinking about going.
I'm like an hour. Okay. I'm like an hour and 45, hour and 50 minutes from New Orleans. So let me know and I'll drive.
It's in June, so I'm trying to get
down south real soon, sometime this year.
I got a slide, y'all. I got a coming through. I'm gonna get up with y'all.
Okay, sounds good.
We finna end it. I'm finna get out of here too. But thank y'all for tuning in to the Griot podcast. We'll see y'all next time, man. And we appreciate everybody. And again, go check out everybody that y'all that's on this panel, man. Everybody's on this panel was intelligent, and pushing Black excellence. Yeah. So we out of here.
Where can they get the book, Kofi? Where can they get the sales?
You can go to it's everywhere. You can get the book anywhere that the book is being published, but we want you to patronize the author directly. So go to www.sametreedifferentbrandspublishing.com to get you a copy of Tales of a Griot, right? So again, that's www.sametreedifferentbrandspublishing.com. And we out. Peace, y'all. All right, y'all. We done